No.
Hey guys, Kevin and Ethan here at Manor headquarters. Sunday afternoon, you're probably all watching the footy, the Origin.
At home, relaxing.
We're out here grinding.
Success doesn't stop.
Episode number 1 of Journey to the Top. What we're doing is giving a bit of an insight and entailing everything that we're doing in our journey to the top of the real estate industry. I guess giving a good reason on why we're doing it. It'll give us a good
Overview of, I guess, in however many years, when we look back and see, I guess, what we've built, at least we can look back on the documentation of how we did it, the books we were reading, the tasks we made, the calls we made, the connects we made, the listings that we did, at what age, what time point. It gives us, I guess, a clearer understanding, and also going to bring you guys along for the journey as well.
Yeah, for sure. So we're not actually going to be giving any advice, just documenting everything along the way.
It's just what we do. You don't have to do it.
I don't think actually any other agents in the industry, at least in Australia, are doing what we're about to do. I think it's going to give us some good leverage in the future once we do hit the type of pinnacle that we're aiming for in our pocket, the Hills District in Sydney, of selling real estate. That way we can kind of leverage it to go into maybe speaking tours or even helping everyone else that's coming up through the industry. Yeah.
I guess the more influence you have with people and around the world, the more people you can help in turn, and I guess the better person you are, the better you can, I guess, help other people that may be possibly in need. I mean, right now we pretty much listen to a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk. Is probably the reason why that we're doing this right now.
The only reason.
100%. But I guess what we're going to probably be talking about are our obstacles for the week, what we had to overcome, I guess the books we're reading, the self-development stuff we're doing in order to project ourselves into obviously the place we'd like to go, where we'd like to be in the future, and also more importantly to keep us accountable for all the stuff we're doing. At least we're doing a video, putting it on YouTube, letting you guys see. I guess we have no other choice but to work hard.
100%. So I guess getting into it, a few of the obstacles that we've kind of overcome. Also getting into this as well. This isn't scripted. So
This is us.
If there's any hiccups, it's not edited or anything. So yeah, we'll see how we go. But any obstacles that we've overcome? I know you've overcome a pretty big obstacle.
I think for me at the start of the week, only being quite young, we're both quite young. I'm a little bit younger than Kevin here. 20 years old. Obviously haven't listed a property by myself before. It was the first property that I listed, a unit. Obviously it's a bit hard. At the start of the week I was thinking it's a bit hard for, I guess, someone that's worked their whole life for their biggest asset to then hand over, I guess, the end sale price to someone that is quite young, and some people would say doesn't have a lot of life experience. I beg to differ. But I mean, we met him through an auction that we had over the weekend, booked him in, went out and saw him. I guess just went through everything in detail, did it as if there was no doubt in my mind, went in quite confident that I was the man for the job. Ended up listing that property, getting photos done this Tuesday coming, putting on the property on Wednesday, putting it online on Wednesday. So I guess it doesn't really matter. A lot of obstacles in life will probably be in your head, like it was at the start of the week for myself. Once you overcome that once, it's pretty easy to then go on and just, I guess, continually build from there. So I think that was probably my biggest obstacle of the week, was trying to overcome that, I guess, that part of my life. What obstacles did you have?
I've lost a couple of listings in the past, I'd say like a week and a half. I think to one particular agent that's dominating a pocket that I'm targeting at the moment, the number one agent in the area, and then I think that's an obstacle that I'm still trying to overcome. It's not that my listing presentation is not great. It's not that my sales process is. If I reckon it's a better process, to be honest, but I think one of the main reasons and the obstacle I'm trying to overcome is just the fact that he's got the biggest footprint in the area, and that's what one of the vendors told me. The reason why I did lose it isn't because of me in general, it's just more for the fact that he's got the most listings. So I don't think that the how I'm going to be able to overcome that obstacle is, I think, kind of having more of a lead up relationship into those into listings. So I listed another one a couple of days ago in that pocket, but I don't believe he went in there. So it's kind of like building those relationships with people in the area strong enough where I'm going in uncontested, and I think that's all I'll be able to build my footprint in that area to a point where that won't actually be an issue. The fact that his footprint is a lot bigger than what mine is at the moment.
And I think it's impressions as well that you want to leave on people. At the end of the day, probably heard it a lot across the real estate industries. We don't lease properties, we lease people. So I know Kevin's a very good people's person. So I guess it's just being a good person at the end of the day. These days, many people can just see right through whether, as other people say, commission breath, all that sort of stuff. As long as you're in it for the right reasons or you're willing to do the right thing by your client, it's pretty easy for them to, I guess, see that. And I guess they're more lenient towards, you may not be sort of within the area. I guess it's finding the right people and doing that enough times in order to have that reputation in the area as well. It's just all a work in progress, I guess.
100%. Getting into self-development, I'm listening to a book at the moment, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's the book. So what we'll do is kind of run through what we're listening to during the week. So we listen to our books on Audible by Amazon, so audiobooks.
I share the account, thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, it's all right, no problem. We can pay it back at a later date with listings. Look, I can't read. Well, I can read, but I'm a horrible reader, so better to just listen. I absorb it 10 times better and 10 times quicker too. So 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. There's I'm kind of actually struggling to understand the nuggets because what he's talking about takes an hour to get to that point. So I think I've got like an hour or two, and then I'm probably going to get onto a book that I'm going to enjoy more. So I'm probably getting through maybe a book every week or two. And this is probably the least enjoyable book I've actually had on Audible.
I think, and it's little stuff like that that's going to help us get faster and further in our lives. Is when you're in the car, instead of putting on some music that's talking about who knows what, I guess bringing your mood down, bring your mindset down at the same time. If you have something
Probably
that's
listen to the wrong music.
I think a lot of people these days do, and I think if you're listening to a book that's going to actually help you in the future, whether it's talking about money, whether it's talking about mindset, whether it's talking about life, whether it's talking about investing, whatever it be, whether it's talking about real estate, obviously whatever you'd like to develop in yourself as well, I'd suggest get on Audible, get on something, because I know I had a very good man in my life that bought me a book when I first started real estate, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I had it for about 3-4 months, only read 2 pages. Got on Audible and I literally listened to the whole book within 3 days. So I mean, especially for us, it's a bit hard by the time we get home, whether it's 8 o'clock, 8:30, sometimes 9 o'clock if we're closing a deal or something. It's a bit hard to get home, have something to eat, have a shower, and then also go and read a book. I mean, you want to just put your head down and go to sleep. So I think if you're listening through it throughout the day, you, as Kevin said, you can get through a book in every week, 2 weeks. So another book that Kevin recommended to myself.
So actually, it is a book. It's You Are Born Rich by Bob Proctor. Amazing. Yeah, it's not a book, but it's a 12-hour clip of
a speech that
he's given, and it's absolutely amazing.
Plenty of golden nuggets.
100%. So definitely recommend that book. I think you've gone a bit. I kind of don't even want the vlogs to kind of go for a hell of a long time, to be honest with you. So I think people lose interest. But we'll go through a couple of our other recommendations with books and a couple of other things in maybe the next episode. In terms of accountability, so every week, I guess we'll kind of run through a couple of our numbers, so see how we are tracking every single week and every month. It'll be good to look back at and see, and we'll be able to tell how many appraisals, how will equate to how many listings, so we'll be able to kind of get a bit more motivated too. So this week, I've kind of run through, I've done 8 appraisals. I've listed 1 property, and for this month I've gone through done 33 appraisals and 3 listings for the month. So pretty alright at the moment, but still another week to go. So hopefully we can bump them up a lot more.
See what we can do. It's doing a bit better than myself this month. This week I've had 2 listings, had 5 appraisals. This month I've had 3 listings and 17 appraisals. Kevin's got a bit of a head start.
Yeah.
I guess it's good to have someone else that you're close with, that you can have a bit of healthy competition. I know Kevin will
Especially putting it on video too, so I don't embarrass you every week. That'll be good.
I know a lot of the time Kevin will jump off the treadmill. I like to say, if you and me get on a treadmill, there's only 2 things going to happen. As Will Smith said, either you're going to get it off or I'm going to die on that treadmill.
Yeah, Kevin's showing in your appraisal numbers.
But I think a bit of healthy competition is always good, as long as it's on in goodwill. But is there anything else you'd like to say?
That's kind of it. We're done.
Welcome to the first episode.
100%.